Okay, honey, let's see how you look.
I want to change schools.
Uniforms are a way to represent your school. And my whole school life, I've been in private school. This is how the elementary formal uniform looked like. And this is what the elementary BE uniform looked like. In middle school, the uniform stayed the same, but for girls, instead of an overall skirt, we got to wear a skirt and a vest. Now, let me tell you some stories I remember slash witnessed and been involved. All I remember from elementary was boys getting called out to cut their hair. Since we were little, boys didn't mind this. Up until middle school, hair was what made a boy cute or hot, so they would always rebut about their hair. It never worked though, because they would get a misconduct for violating dress code and be forced to cut it. Another reason for being called out was if you wore the wrong uniform on said day, because, yes, we had days for specific uniforms. It might seem annoying, but when you assimilate, it's easy to remember. As a girl, we didn't get called out much. The only times we got called was because we played a little rough in lunch or recess, and teachers had to recomb our hair. Sometimes little girls would bring in bracelets or paint their nails. That wasn't allowed. Because you were little, they told you to remove the nail polish by tomorrow, or if the school had the materials, they would remove it right there in the office. The accessories were removed and given to the girls at the end of the day. Middle school was the best time to break uniform. However, because we were in middle school, we experimented with new things. Middle school is the best time to experiment with makeup because honestly, who told us we look good when we really look like clowns? Makeup is a huge thing with girls, but because it wasn't allowed, most girls were caught and given their misbehavior papers. They would even line us up in assembly, give us a wipe, and make us wipe it off. Some girls would even feint the teacher by making it look like they removed the makeup, and it worked, but if you looked like a clown, it of course didn't work. The only time we were allowed to wear makeup was in the 8th grade yearbook picture and our toga picture, and I have an experience with the toga picture. For some background information, we took the picture early, and after it rained lightly, so my hair was ruined and I had no makeup and very little lip color. I was with friends talking until a teacher called on me about the picture and how I would retake it. Apparently, I put too much red in my lips, and I had to retake the picture. I was mad. This was hours after the picture, and my hair was already a mess. What I did was bite my lip so hard it was red. Now they couldn't make me retake the picture because the lady was so ready to just leave. So with little makeup and a burning and hurting lip, I took that crusty picture. Another problem we girls had was the skirts. Now the skirts were supposed to be either touching your knee or below the knee. So when it was skirt checking, you unrolled your skirt as low as you could. Sometimes you were lucky and sometimes you were not. But wow, would you feel relieved after you pulled down your skirt and not get sent to the office. In my final year and last month at school, I was unfortunate to be called to the office, given the worst punishment, the conduct referral. This paper is given to students with dissolute behavior. Apparently, a skirt touching your knee, which was the acceptable skirt length, was dissolute behavior. As I waited in the office, I was going to chat with the girls about how obscure it is since we had long skirts and we got in trouble. Now, I looked at their skirts before I spoke and realized their skirts weren't even touching their knees and were shorter than mine. Some information about these girls is that throughout the year they have been called into the office for their skirts. Now, I spoke up and said how it was unfair. My first time getting called into the office for my skirt and I'm getting the worst punishment. I was quickly shut down by the assistant telling me that even though these girls were the ones getting called throughout the year, the warnings were there and I should have known that my skirt was too short. I then kept quiet because I knew that if I spoke again, I might as well skip the conduct referral and make it into a suspension. Another reason boys got called out was their shirts being untucked. I don't know what was the thing for untucked shirts, but because they could easily be tucked, teachers would wait until they were tucked in to send them to class. But like I said earlier, uniforms are a way to represent the school. If uniforms have rules, then you must follow those rules, even if rules are meant to be broken. However, who am I to judge about the school uniform policy? These are just things I witnessed or experienced.